Well, hello again. Welcome back to Seven Principles. I am the author, Henry Nutt of Seven Principles Creating Your Success in the Construction Industry. And I've been taking some time to sit down, read a couple excerpts from my book, and take about 15, 20 minutes max to talk about some different points that I believe will be essential in helping you or someone you may know that is trying to get into the construction industry or any industry for that matter. I'm specifically talking about construction because that is my business. I've been doing this since 1987 when I was about 19 years old and have found my way from going from pre-apprentice to pre-construction executive and been with my company, Southland Industries, for over 17 years and in the industry for over 37 years. So I'm here today to talk to you about another chapter in my book, which is another principle. And this chapter is chapter 5. And the title of this is Work Hard and Always Do Your Best. Sounds very simple. It is, but it's not simply executed. And so I want to take some time and read a couple excerpts out of this chapter and have a little bit of a dialogue with it. And hopefully you'll get something out of it. You can find me on social media on my LinkedIn page at Henry Nutt. You can find me on YouTube in this video. You can find me on, let's see, where else am I? You can find me on Instagram and you can find me on Facebook. And so you can type in my name, Henry Nutt III, or HEN3 Partners is my website.com. So you'll find me if you're looking for me. Anyway, let me go ahead and get to this. I'm going to start out today with reading the chapter quote that I have put together. And it says, at the end of the day, nothing will ever replace hard work. And you will never choose to do your best if you're only working for a paycheck. Think about that for a minute. And I used to think about the term of living for the weekend. And we know how Friday nights we work hard through the week, and Friday we're looking forward to Friday. We're looking forward to the weekend and enjoying some downtime and enjoying the fruits of our labor. And then we have to come back on Monday. But if all we're doing is living for the weekend, those other days in between are very miserable. And that goes back to a chapter about loving what you do. We'll talk about that one ultimately as well. But if you come to work just to live, just to get your paycheck and go home, it's a long day. It's an arduous day. It really does stifle your focus and your capabilities to really get things done efficiently, proficiently, effectively, to learn something. All those things kind of get lost when all we're doing is trying to pass the time. So I wanted to start this chapter out with reading that and just thinking about how you show up every day. Thinking about what are you doing Monday through Friday? Is it just arduous tasks that it feels like every time you come to work? Or do you actually enjoy your job? 50% of people or more actually don't enjoy their jobs. And things happen in life where sometimes we don't have a choice to do that, what we want to do with our lives and so as far as a career is concerned because of circumstances. However, if I'm talking to you and you actually have the option to choose something now, do your research. Know what you're going to be getting yourself into, and also know that every day is not going to be a great day. But if you enjoy fundamentally the job you're looking to do for the rest of your life or for a very long time, know what it is, know what the expectations are for yourself, and know what the work is so that you can say, I choose this because it's something that I'm inclined to want to learn more about it. I want to get better at it. It challenges me. It excites me. It motivates me. That does not mean every day your job is going to be fun and sun, but it really is important that you at least like your job a little bit, right? All right, so talk about my dad a little bit. As a kid, my father always had me doing something that involved work, whether I was doing chores inside the house, pulling weeds in the front yard, or watching him change the oil or brakes in the family car. I learned very early that working hard was not only necessary but essential to maintaining a good and balanced life. Every day I watched my father go to work. Sometimes he had more than one job. He woke up early every day and always showed up without excuse. I had no idea how observing this would become so critically important later in my life and its influence on my career. He was giving me an invaluable tool that would prove to be the keystone to my success, which is known as a work ethic. And so both of my parents worked, and I got to see two people that I relied on, loved, and depended on in my childhood and young adulthood, on the importance of going to work every day. And just a simple task of just doing that every day. It gave me such a great example. And back then, we didn't have COVID where you could go to work when you were sick, and sometimes you just did. And that's kind of how I learned. I went to work when I didn't feel well. But I made sure I was ready to go to work, and not just go there, but to be prepared to do whatever the job was for me to get to do that day, and work with my team and collaborate and just be ready to be on, no matter what it was. And so that work ethic was really critically important to me, and critically important for me to grow in my career, because it just helped me establish a pattern of behaviors and a thought process and a focus and attention to even the time I'd go to bed at night. If I was drinking, when I would stop, all these different things that could factor in what's going to affect my day the next day. And when you're trying to create success for yourself in life, you have to put other lenses on and be aware of other potential distractions and things that may harm you or may harm your ability to be successful, to be recognized, to address some issue that requires maybe some innovative ideas and thinking and collaboration with others. And if you're tired, sleepy, mundane, not really wanting to be where you are, not focused, you're not going to be on that team. That they're not going to want you on their team. You're just passing the time. And so when you show up as that individual, most people know that you're not there to get things done. You're just there, get your check, and then you want to go home. And that's some people's life, and that's what some people have to do. But imagine doing that for 30, 40 years, whether it's with one job or several in your career. If that is your mentality, you will carry that mentality in every aspect of your life. And specifically, we're talking about work today, so we're talking about your career. And if you walk in your life with that mentality, you're going to not enjoy life very much, because we spend so much of our time away from our families, but at work. And it behooves us to understand what that work is. Again, enjoy it somewhat. We'll talk about in another chapter, but how you show up every day is critically important. So I want to read one more part of it. And it says, another great thing happened behind the scenes as you're working hard is the reputation you're building with your crew. As you will learn very quickly, the construction industry is a relatively small community, and you will go as far as your reputation will take you. If your reputation is established as being a lazy and unreliable apprentice, guess what? It will be tough to change that reputation once you become a full-fledged journey person. Your reputation will follow you and either hinder or promote your career. Think about that on every job you perform. It is so important that you recognize that you're establishing a reputation. So if you have a work ethic that is solid, that has been built on some examples that understand what it is, if you understand that working hard is important, whether it's physically working hard with your hands and your body, or it's just really putting some mental energy towards what you need to accomplish. It's not easy. It can be physically draining, emotionally draining, mentally draining, all these things, these factors. It's real, but it should not prevent us from getting our jobs done. And we should learn how to navigate through the different obstacles that we will face inevitably as we show up every day to come and do our jobs. So thinking about work ethic, thinking about enjoying what you do, thinking about your attitude and behavior, thinking about, are you showing up just to get that paycheck? You are weeded out super quickly when that's your objective. Your objective is to get the job done. And then we get that reward for doing that job, and doing that job really well. We get sometimes that promotion, or we get that other opportunity that may not exist for someone else. And so our behaviors and our attitudes and our work ethic, all that is on display every day of our lives. And who's watching you and recognizing you? Because somebody is, always. How do you show up? What are you bringing to the table? What baggage do you bring when you show up to work every day? Is your attitude in line with the job that needs to get done? Are you focused on the right things? Are you giving yourself enough rest every night so that you can show up ready to go 100%? Things happen in life, no question, where circumstances change. We have some bad days. And I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about your consistent attitude and behavior that's been established, your reputation that precedes you, whether, hey, we're going to get such and such. We know they are going to help us execute and have ideas and address this issue, or be collaborative and bring some synergy to the team, and be a spark for others, and know how to insert themselves and just get the ball rolling. That's who we want in our jobs. Those are the people we want to work with every day. It's not about just being nice. It's about how you're producing, and can you get along and work with other people. And so think about those things. Think about your work ethic. Think about, what does it look like? Where did it come from? Is it a solid work ethic? Is it something that needs some work? Maybe ask a friend, and then someone that you trust and will tell you the truth. Find out. Do you work hard? Do you put all your effort into what needs to get done? Are you lazy? Do you just do just enough to get by and then wonder why you're passed over? Or do you put in that effort? And I'm not talking about kissing anybody's butt. I'm talking about your focus. I'm talking about how you show up. I'm talking about knowing that, hey, here's what I got to get done. And you're putting the mental energy towards getting that job done. And you're not even doing it to get an accolade. You're not doing it so somebody can come pat you on the back and say, good job. We all like that. That's great. That's cool. But at the end of the day, that's not why we're doing that either. We're doing it because it's what we're supposed to do. And we don't necessarily have to get a reward for doing what we're supposed to do. But we will get acknowledged. We will separate ourselves from the pack when we decide to recognize what my work ethic is, why it's important, why working hard really is important, what it looks like every day when I go to work. How do I create success for myself? I work hard. I get along with people. I know the job I got to get done. I'm not counting the minutes of when it's time to go home as soon as I get to work. I actually enjoy my job. I enjoy the people that I work with. And if you're in a position where you don't have control over that, then you got to work. But maybe there's something else that you should be thinking about in different hours of the day. And what are you doing to prepare yourself to get into that other position or start that other career? That's what you should be doing and spending your time and energy, versus being depressed and sad about the current job you might have that you might not enjoy. It's like, hey, I'm not knocking. We all get sad and we get depressed, but that's not going to change anything. So it's more about, if you're not satisfied in your current position, you don't think there's opportunity for growth for you, you got to keep a job. But then what are you doing on your off time to prepare yourself for the next thing? And are you going to be diligent, create that work ethic, work hard every day, show up, be collaborative, support your team the way they need to be supported, bring your best set of gifts every day to this team, because that's who you are. That's your reputation. That's what you're going to be known for. So whether you are in the beginning of your career, in the middle, towards the end, you learned some lessons, or you need to learn some lessons. Get around some people. We talked about getting a mentor, getting some support and some help, getting some guidance, reading a good book if you don't know anybody in your circle about how to create success for yourself. And it first starts here in your own mind about what you believe about yourself. And if you come to the table with a bunch of excuses about why you can't achieve, guess what? You won't. And you don't have to be a prophet to determine that. You've set it up yourself to happen by how you think. And so I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying that life does not throw some left hooks that we didn't see coming, and we pause and we have to regroup. All that's real. All that stuff happens. But again, we cannot make excuses. Who are you doing this for? Is it for yourself? Is it for your family? Is it for your unborn child? Who is it? Maybe it's a combination of all that. They deserve your best. Your company that you work for or that you own deserves your best. Treat it with diligence, treat it with appreciation, and know that you will be recognized when you begin to work hard, when you begin to recognize your gifts and talents and utilize them, exercise them every day, when you enjoy your job in a way that's contagious with others, where, again, you have some hard days, some bad days, but you don't come to work every day with a cloud. And when they see you coming, they want to run because you're always dissatisfied or angry or in a bad mood. And that happens when you don't enjoy what you do because it feels so taxing. So I want everyone to enjoy their job because I got to drive on the freeway with them most of the time. And so I want people to enjoy their jobs, enjoy their lives, where we spend so much of our time every day going to work somewhere. We got to do that. So when we have the opportunity to determine what it is that we're going to do, let's be intentional about that. If that bus has already left, again, for you and your career, and you're trenched deep in, you can't change right now because of you got to pay bills, I get it. But it doesn't mean you can't do some stuff on the side to prepare yourself for your second act in life. It may take a little bit longer for you to get there, but it's not too late for you to start. And I think that's really important. And so take all those lessons that you learned for something that you didn't like to do, and now you're about to start and embark on something that you do. Go do that. Go do that. And let's see how that works out for you. Just have a game plan. So don't forget, creating 7 principles, creating your success in the construction industry. Check it out on Amazon. Come to my website, HEN3partners.com. You can find it there. If you have any questions, always reach out. Like my YouTube page, and thanks for listening. Have a great day.